Did you see that? Oh. 10 short course and desert trucks. That's 10 reviews and then a big comparison. Oh boy, this is a big undertaking. Today, my friends, the SCT410 2.0, Tekno's newest short course truck kit. I'm excited to get this on the bench and show you all about it. Let's take a look. This is one of the few kits in the roundup that I'm doing, little box. So you need some tools with it. Here we go. And some extra parts. We need all the electronics. So you know, radio, transmitter, receiver, servo, motor, ESC, anything else that you want to add to it electronically, you've got to add it. Of course, you need your own battery, but in this case, be aware you also need your own Mod 1 pinion. They recommend a 16 to a 20 tooth, and the car's also set up for a 2400 to 4000 kV brushless motor, 36 and 40 size cans. Just be aware. Quick blast just on the flat first. Let's see. Oh boy, this is the very first time. When I was setting it up, I actually put punch on maximum, just out of curiosity really. This is brutal. I love it. We need more room. Let's go down the yard. Now, we don't need to do an unboxing here because when you first open the box, there's actually not a lot to see. It's a very nice quality box. That's the Tekno logo if you're unfamiliar with Tekno. And they've been making cars for a long time, but this is empty. Here's the finished product. Now, if you'd like to see my build series for this, check out the live section of RC-TNT. We did a 5-part build series hanging out with you guys. So a lot of you who are watching this will have already seen this, but if you haven't, today we look at the finished product. And here it is, and isn't it a beauty? Now, you'll set this car up how you like. I realize that. So we're not really reviewing the power system. This is just what a 3S power system is like. With good grippy tires. But even with this crazy driving, the tires ballooning, the car is really stable, really stable. I think the body's going to need armouring. It goes exactly where I want it to. Oh, and it flies nicely. Oh boy, oh boy. Yes. Did you see that? Oh. Oh, all right, let's go down. This is a 110 scale short course truck. They've built this thing to take 1/8 scale power. Now, the SCT410 has been around for 13 plus years now, and the most recent version was the 410.3, which is a lighter version for track use, but that was released nearly 9 years ago. So this has been a long awaited 2.0, and alongside the 2.0 here, we've also got the new MT410, which is your monster truck. Some vehicles in my lineup here are purely bashers. Let's look at the Mojave 4S, for example. Others are designed for track, and there's one track car in particular that I haven't included in this roundup because it's just a little bit too track oriented to fit my bashing theme that we're going for, and that would be the TLR. That could be worth looking at for track, but for bashing, I'm really looking for the ideal basher. So when Tekno says they've got a 1/8 scale power proof drivetrain, and I can see, I mean, there are still dog bones and universals throughout. This thing really does look tough. Combined with Tekno's reputation for being a rock solid basher, yeah, that's something that actually gets me excited. It's a revised chassis design and layout, they say. It includes HD mudguards, a covered center diff, easy access differentials. They've got new 2.0 compatible bulkheads, or 2.x compatible bulkheads, new internal differential gears, SCT specific suspension geometry. What I really like about this is the 4mm black anodized long wear chassis, they say. We've got 3 fluid filled adjustable lightweight differentials, hybrid hinge pin blocks, integrated steel braces, the beautiful CNC 7075 one-piece motor mount. It has preset gearing options for pinions from 16 to 20 teeth, and there's an adapter, a sliding adapter for smaller pinion gears than that. 13mm big bore shocks with 16mm spring options, and let me tell you, there are heaps of options for springs and also for your sway bars. And we talk about this in the build when I did the build on the bench. It's a 4mm 7075 shock towers. As you can see, they're lovely and thick, and I've got a 6 amp 3S battery in there. It's a big hard case brick, 3050 kV motor. It's a decent size one. Is it 3674 from memory? It might be 3670, I can't remember exactly, but I'll put it in the description. It was a beefy motor, 3050 kV, and I've combined it with a 16-tooth pinion. And running on 3S, that should be good. Now we've got the Hobbywing 10BL120G2, programmable only with the Hobbywing card. It's the same card that you get with the 1080 for crawling. And we have the JX Servo. It's a 32 kilo. It's the CLS HV7332MG, running at 7.4 volts, straight out of the BSC. Everything's in the description below. I'll have links to where you can get this stuff, and I'll send you to my very good friends at Asia Tees for most of it. Now I bought this directly from Tekno, but they sent me a refund and said, hey Craig, buy it from Australia. Please use our distributor. And so I did. They gave me a refund and I bought from Coast to Coast RC. So thank you Coast to Coast RC. The body I've gone with, which you also need to supply, is a J Concepts High Flow, I think it's called. So named because there are different windows you can cut out to help remove the parachuting issue with a short course truck. And I think it's come out pretty nicely. I'm using the FlySky Noble NB4 Pro for this because I'm using this radio at the moment as part of my upcoming radio roundup, and we're going to look at a lot of radios from the budget to the premium and everything in between. That's coming in 2024. Subscribe if you haven't. That might be one of the few times I've ever asked anyone to subscribe on the channel. I'm just excited. There's a lot coming. So as I put it together, it tells you what the sway bar diameter is, and we've got 2.1 mil, but they've got everything from 2.1, which they include, 2.2 at 0.1 intervals, 2.2 all the way up to 3.0. So you can get different thicknesses of your sway bars, and they had the same thing for, I think, shock springs. Tekno just makes all the accessories. The manual was fabulous, didn't have any mistakes. The build was really smooth, and the last thing to tell you about the manual was when you get to the end of it, they've got a bunch of setup information for ride height, camber, tow, Ackerman, camber links, wheelbase adjustments even, the list goes on. This is designed for people to be able to tune it. The other thing you need to supply is wheels and tires. This is a premium kit, so if it's your first RC car, prepare for a trial by fire. You're going to need to work out everything as you go. The manual though, if you're going to do any manual that says BYO everything, this is a good one to go. I went with the Louise SC Rocks, mainly because I liked their big knobbly pattern. These are maybe not what you'd choose for racing. They're also a cheaper wheel and tire combo. And 3 out of the 4 tires are actually nicely balanced, which is good. The front left's a little bit on the shaky side. We're just going to drive it. And if you want more detail, see my live streams. You've got all the detail you could care for. I think it was a 5 to 8 hour build. I don't remember exactly, but there are a lot of hours and you don't miss any of it. It's all on the live stream, so go check it out. One thing I like about this is the chassis is allowed to bottom out. Like the shocks can't bottom out, the chassis will hit the ground before the shocks do, before the shocks are compressed fully. And the nice thing is, these heavy duty nylons are actually a couple of mil lower than the metal chassis. Rocks are still going to scratch this out, but these nylon things that slide nicely are actually going to take the brunt of things. They're beautiful, beefy arms too. This is one company that maybe RPM doesn't need to make arms for. We will see. Let's drive. Including even the mighty new Mojave 4S. I'm not sure any car has the same brutal power to snap itself back into line. Now this is a short course truck. It is not designed for this kind of jump. But we're going to try it anyway. There's just immediate acceleration. But I want you to realize this is abusive driving for a short course. It's abusive. Anyone who owns a Tekno will be just nodding along saying, yeah, but that's what they're made for. Show me a car that could have recovered that. Now different tyres are going to change how this car behaves. With the blocks on these Louise short course rocks, they're basically just digging into the ground, aren't they? And remember also, I'm running a that was a nasty one. I'm running a 6,000 milliamp brick. It's actually carrying quite a lot of weight. And if you're running this on track, you'd probably want like a 3 amp, maybe a 4 amp. That's about it. All right, well, you've got the idea. It glides beautifully. And I think the airflow, the air holes in the back of this body, just parachuting just isn't a problem, as far as I can see. Oh, should have gone for a flip, shouldn't we? I don't really want to hurt it, but Wow, doesn't it glide nice? All right, let's hit the track. Okay, first drive on the track. I haven't really touched the throttle yet. I've more just thought about going forwards. What's interesting is it's actually not light, but it feels light. It just feels light. I need to clean this track too. There's sticks and stuff all over it. I usually rake it, but I forgot. Look at that. I'm not a great off-road driver. Exhibit A. I'm pretty good at crawling these days, but this stuff, yeah, I leave a bit to be desired, right? Ow! And yet, it actually feels really easy. It's so stable. Even with my bad driving, it's so stable. Be aware that it's going to want to flip a bit more with tyres like this, the big knobbly treads. The smoother, smaller pin tyre profiles and other kinds of, I don't know, realistic looking treads, they're probably going to slide better. So the big blocks on these tyres, they have a lot of sideways bite, which I'm finding is rolling the car probably quite a lot more than it might otherwise. But even so, really stable. Oh, what'd we hit there? Something big. Saved it. Sorry, body. This body's taking a hammering. Again, no gyro here. I know you can tell my driving's awful, but it's just, gosh, it's light. I haven't weighed this yet. We've got to do that. In fact, I'll just put it on screen. Here's what it weighs. This thing feels lighter though. It just feels like one of the lightweight cars. If you have the opportunity to get yourself one of these for bashing, my goodness, do it. You see that? Now that was the hole in the back of the J-Concept's airflow body, letting air escape out the back so it didn't parachute. I'm starting to get a feel for this now. Oh, it's nice. Gee, it's nice. And the rain's coming in now. That's the high tyre profiles doing that. It really makes it roll when I'm cornering. That's me, obviously, but I think different tyres will be different. I'm going to get better at this. Of course, I'll get better at this with practice, but just for straight up driving out of the box, I don't know that there's a car I prefer. I think this might be my favorite from a handling perspective. Gee, it's just so smooth. Now I've got nothing, I've got no bias for this, you know. I'm not being paid for this video. I'm gonna stop talking for a sec. I don't even have an affiliate link for this car. Look at that. Like, I've got no financial incentive to recommend this car at all. I'm just sharing the sheer driving fun with you. My goodness, this car's amazing. It's amazing. A gyro would help someone like me. And if you're like me, pretty noob at the wheel, I mean, it's not going to help your skills, but it'll help the drive. That said, gee, it's just nimble and predictable. I'm just loving this drive. Gee, it's fun. It's taken some hard hits. Let's have a look at it. All right, you guys saw how much abuse this thing just took? Like, it's just rolled and rolled and rolled. Again, I think it's because of these high profile knobbly tires. They even come out to the side of the sidewall a bit. So as it's cornering, it's biting and then that's flipping it. Me telling you how the body is going isn't really going to give you much because you stick your own body on. But if you're considering a J-Concept's high flow or something like it, which I really recommend, even on my bashing track with my low skill for this kind of car, it's just so apparent when it's in the air. There's no air being caught in here because it's just whistling out the back. Beautiful. Let's have a look underneath and then we'll have a look under the cover. So it's got predictably some scratches from the rocks and stuff here, but these things took most of the brunt. Clearly the bumpers are working. The body is not going to take this abuse for too long without giving up, but we can protect it, you know. We'll line it and give it some shoe goo. Same with the front here, which does actually overhang the bumper. But again, that's a question of body. Different bodies may not do that, and there's nothing stopping me cutting this back just to shade, so the bumper takes more of the knocks. That's just like, it's a minor thing. Let's have a look under the body. While I'm pulling the pins out, I'll also say the aluminum chassis is quite warm, which means it's helping keep the car cool because it's taking a lot of heat from the motor, which is bolted to a metal plate, which is bolted to the chassis. Quick look underneath. Dusty, of course, because there are no covers on this thing, right? But it's so open that stuff falls out after it falls in. There's no real place for stuff to get captured. It's a beautiful flat chassis, you know, it hasn't got all the hexagonal plastic traps of the rally car we looked at recently, the Maverick. It's beautiful. And again, this steering, it's just so nice. If you can get yourself one of these kits, I highly recommend it. You can even build along with me on my live streams if you like. I've gone every single step, made the mistakes, so if you're seriously considering it, check them out, you know? You might have it just running in the background while you build your own. Little things like boots on the suspension so that I know these shafts are clear of dust. They're going to last longer that way. Everything's balanced. They had 3 or 4 different fluids with it for the shocks, for the front diff and the center diff, and then a different one for the rear diff. It's just all been thought through. I'm just such a fan of this car. Let me know what you think in the comments. You'll see this car again when we do the 10 short course and desert truck roundup. That'll be in early 2024. We've got a few more cars to get through. Baja Ray 2.0, the Hebeo Hyper 10 SC. Then we can do a comparison and I'll take you through who should buy this, who should buy that, what it's good for, maybe what its drawbacks are. We'll do a big roundup at the end of it. But for this guy, if I had to choose this or the Mojave 4S, it'd be a difficult decision. These are both 2 of my favorite cars I think that I own. And we could even put this on 4S if we change the power system, which you have the choice to do from out of the box. So wow, wonderful, just wonderful. Throw me a like if you got something out of this too, and I'll catch you again on RC-TNT. Cheers.